Auto pause. Workout resumed.
So good morning, everybody. Carlos walking to work. Let me tell you what the real time is. 7:16. Good. So I have expectations of arriving at 8 o'clock. 7:15 is when I started this recording, so I'm going to keep it short-ish today, but it's a full-time, real-time going on in my jacket, as you might have understood by the sound of the zip, the all too familiar sound of the zip. I can't hear a single thing that Samantha's going to say, not until it gets extremely quiet, which is not right now. This is probably the roughest corner in Victoria, so I'll stop talking for the moment. Get a bit of a soundscape today. I have to wait for the light. Oh, hang on. I think I'll just skip it.
Auto pause. Workout resumed.
I'm safe. Safe enough. Just don't like lingering on that corner. It used to be a lot worse. There was a 7-Eleven there that all the druggies would hang out at, asking for money and stuff. But that 7-Eleven closed down. It was just too rough a corner for them to operate. Customers did not like having to deal with these people every time they went into the store. Lots of reversing trucks today. I'm going to take a photograph of the facade that they have saved. Or they're planning to save. Alright, that reversing truck was coming to pick up one of those dumpsters. They're obviously going to put in a new house, but use the old facade, which they've had to prop up with wires. Got it. A lot more for posterity. Got it. It's a bit like taking a photograph of the Roman ruins. But these are more like Georgian ruins. No, maybe not Georgian, Victorian ruins. Late Victorian ruins. It's quite handy having a city named after a queen. Hang on, what's going on here? This is Government Street. I'm crossing on the orange hand. Yet another business closed down. Couch and Trading Company, famous for its native wool. They do a lot of those West Coast Salish
Cadence 59.
sweaters.
Average heart rate 109. Workout average pace 10 minutes 42 seconds per
Anyway,
kilometer. Time for hydration.
so off to work. Yep, the last 3 shifts I'm expecting to work today, tomorrow, and Christmas Eve. And Robin and Shannon are going off to Shawnigan Lake to see Shannon's relatives. Let me take a photograph of Market Square. Apologies for all the in and out the pocket noises.
Auto pause.
Got it. Yeah, so we're up to 6 minutes 39. Okay, so I think I'm going to call this episode the Songhees Walkway, even though half of it will be Johnson Street through the core, through the center of Victoria. I can see Johnson Street Bridge. Blue lights are on. I'll take a photograph in a minute, but I'm behind some scaffolding here. Not a good spot. Anyway, I think a couple of weeks ago I mentioned a guy called Chris Dubé. Obviously a French-Canadian chappie. He went missing from his old people's home in Broadmead.
Auto pause.
And he was a... Oops, hang on. He was a house painter.
Workout
I say was because after having been missing for 10 days or so, they stopped searching because they found his deceased body. And then no more details than that were given. I think in respect to the family, they asked for some peace and time to process their grief. But that Chris Dubé was a senior. He was a house painter. He lived with his daughter, I believe, in Esquimalt. And I think, like most house painters, he was probably a smoker. And even though he was on a locked ward, I think that the smokers get given certain dispensations because of their addiction. It's quite usual to see residents even in sealed units standing close to the doors having a cigarette. So probably he walked out one morning and they must have thought, oh, he's just going for a cigarette. But he did not come back.
Halfway to your goal.
Somebody claimed to have seen him on Mount Doug, so hence my interest, bearing some resemblance to the man. I didn't want to be falsely spotted. All right, Johnson Street Bridge under my feet. This bridge opens up. It has one of those cantilevered type lift bridge. So now I can guarantee all I'm going to hear is seagulls, seaplanes, and dog walkers from here to my destination. I will check a little bit later on when I take another photograph of how many minutes I've done so far today on this recording. Oh, that's a beautiful photograph of the legislature, all with its Christmas lights. I'm up to 10 minutes at the moment.
Auto pause.
Let me zoom in. You might have heard Samantha whispering in the background. I certainly can't hear her. But when I'm walking like this, I'm not too concerned about overstressing my little heart. So I'm not too concerned about hearing every single detail of my workout. Suffice it to say that she will be interrupting me and I will be interrupting her. So the water now
Cadence
is
63. Average heart rate 107. Workout average pace 10 minutes 38 seconds per kilometer.
Oh, I could hear that quite clearly. You see the difference? In town I couldn't hear a single word she said. Maybe I have her on too loud now. Probably with my fiddling around, I might have tweaked the volume somewhat. Each time I take a photograph, I'm handling my phone, like now. All right, I'll leave it be for a little while and consolidate my pace. So it was 10 something, wasn't it? Those reminders, annoying if they are annoying, will only be every 5 minutes, apart from the auto pause. But the 5 minutes is what I set for Samantha's updates. And cadence was the drill today. I'm trying to stay above 60, north of 60. I just noticed that my zipper is clicking. Does not have to do that. Recording with my phone is possible today because I'm not running. I did a recording or two with the same setup but with the phone inside my jacket while I was running, and there was quite a lot more clothing noise, which you get used to, but I think the worst one is wind noise. Traffic noise you get used to. Trucks reversing you get used to. Unfortunately, there's not enough real light here, but I will take a photograph anyway of the totem poles.
Auto pause.
Got it. The totem pole is very thin and very straight. So I was trying to catch the top of the totem pole with the legislature building in the background, because otherwise it just looked like a telegraph pole. So I had to tilt the camera back. Now there's not really enough light for photography because I'm now away from the city lights, and this is just basically a residential type neighborhood, ritzy as it is. There's a couple of hotels, but most of it here is condominiums, retirement condominiums. probably full of farmers from Winnipeg. It's the first thing they do when they sell the farm. Is they buy a condo in Victoria. Well, a lot of them do. Morning. Yeah, it's a shame there's not a full moon, because there would be enough light if there was a full moon, or if there was no clouds between me and space. I think that's more to the point. Now, I seem to remember there was a pretty big moon quite recently, so I don't think it goes from full to disappeared in one day. It waxes and wanes. It gets bigger, it gets smaller. Creciente, growing. Poniente, going down. Or closing. The opening and the closing of the moon. When I get to the dolphin statue, that is officially the end of the Songhees Walkway. All my foot issues have cleared themselves up now. I'm convinced that the reason doctors have such clout in society is that they promise a quicker resolution to what the body usually, I say usually, is prepared to deal with.
Cadence 64. Average heart rate 107. Workout average pace 10 minutes 35 seconds per kilometer.
Alright, so I heard Samantha saying something, but not loud enough for me to understand. I'm going to try and take a photograph from the dolphin statue. Even with the cloud, the low cloud, I could see the day breaking behind it. Oh yeah, let me just do that photograph.
Auto pause.
Got it. That photograph will be very significant to Sandy and Gary. I brought them along here when they came over to Victoria to run in the Victoria 8K on Thanksgiving Day, Turkey Day. Alright, so I could see that I'm getting close to the 20-minute mark. I can take you further still, probably to Spinnakers. Let's say I'll stop this one at Spinnakers, the brew pub. We didn't actually go there this year. I did promise her a drink, but it was kind of early in the morning. I think it was around 10 when we walked past Spinnakers. It would have been open, but normally the only people they see at that time are people having their baguettes and their croissant and their coffee, desserts, that kind of thing. Breakfast desserts. It's become quite fashionable. Before the drinking hours, they open up to the limited breakfast trade. A lot of these brew pubs have got quite sophisticated kitchens, as well as obviously a brewery. So this is the dolphin statue. Let's see what the real time is. 7:36. I started this at 7:25, so That should be 16 minutes maybe. $20 minutes.
Auto pause.
You can probably hear the Coast Guard helicopter.
Workout resumed.
Mind you, it might be the helijet. The helijet does fly from here to Vancouver. Just about got rid of my bronchitis. So saying. Well, that's what reminded me. I could feel my voice beginning to croak. So I knew there was something moving in my throat. As I swallow the nonsense. But the way I figure it, if it's coming out of my lungs, my gut can deal with it a lot better. I'm not going to have to spit to get rid of it. It's not going to block my gut. It's going to block my little bronchi. One thing I did notice is that when I was sick or injured or in pain, my heart rate would always go up. Hello.
Hi.
My heart rate would always go up disproportionately. It's like my body was already stressed by the pain and just the exertion of running or race walking or riding my bike was enough to push it up by maybe another 10 beats per minute. And then I started last week, the middle of last week, I started running again using zone 1 as my target zone. It's pretty hard to run in zone 1, I can tell you. All right, one last photograph of Spinnakers. Check on the time of day.
Cadence 63. Average heart rate 108. Workout average pace 10 minutes 32 seconds per kilometer. Time for hydration. Auto pause.
7:38. Yeah, I'm going to be on time, if not early. I've also got 23 minutes of audio, which is just about perfect for today. So I will call it right here. Carlos, the running Jackal, signing off at Spinnakers pub. Bye-bye.